Democrats also want a huge new tax hike on American natural gas. Natural gas is the single largest source of electricity generation for our entire country. A plurality of all the power in America comes from, you guessed it, natural gas. It's also how countless families heat their homes, and it's the linchpin of our domestic energy independence and our ability to export to our allies in Europe. But the Green New Deal Democrats are coming straight after American natural gas with huge new tax hikes. The result will be higher electricity bills, higher heating costs, less exporting to our European allies, just as Putin is trying to cut them off, and 90,000 workers in the oil and gas industry, listen to this, out of work. Eliminating 90,000 workers in the oil and gas industry in the process. Democrats' tax hikes on American energy don't stop there. With gas prices still sky high, our colleagues are also proposing to resurrect a defunct tax that would take direct aim at American oil refining. And they want it pegged to inflation. So the tax hike will automatically climb up and up exactly when the country can least afford it. So on top of all this, the Democrats also want to pour new funding into the IRS so they can more easily come after small businesses. IRS agents get new cars, new computers. Small businesses, they get more audits. Add it all up, these tax hikes and others, and Democrats want to drop an anvil on our economy at the worst possible time. The nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation has demonstrated the Democrats' plan would shatter President Biden's promise not to raise taxes on households earning less than $400,000. Households making less than half that amount, less than $200,000, would see a $16.7 billion tax hike in the year 2023 alone. This is people making under $200,000 would see a $16.7 billion tax hike next year alone. Amazingly, the very lowest earning Americans who make less than $10,000 per year would see the largest percentage tax hike of any group in the entire bill. So it hits people who make below $10,000 on a percentage basis harder than any other group in the entire bill. So Democrats are labeling all these tax hikes the Inflation Reduction Act. But nonpartisan experts have already proven that's flat out false. The budget experts at Penn Wharton show this bill would slightly increase inflation in the near term and do nothing to meaningfully reduce it in the long term. So it's not about inflation. When you raise taxes on something, Madam President, you get less of it. It's the way it works. So in the middle of a recession, Democrats want to raise taxes on American jobs. In the middle of an energy crisis, Democrats want to raise taxes on American energy. In the middle of a middle-class inflation crisis, Democrats want to raise taxes on households way, way below the president's $400,000 threshold. All of this economic genius is brought to you by the same people who called a $1.9 trillion inflation time bomb the, quote, American Rescue Plan, and promised it wouldn't cause inflation right before it did. We know what it looks like when Democrats say they'll help the economy, and American families can't take much more of it.